I'm Smush Parker, and you're checking out Scoopy Radio.
Scoopy Radio, here with this guy, Smush Parker. What's going on, brother?
What's going on? How you doing?
Working my tail off.
Are you?
Yeah.
All right. You don't look like you're not even sweating.
No, see, I had the towel, and we on camera, so I had to get right.
Got it.
Come on, man.
Got it.
You know the vibes.
I do.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
I'm working my tail off. I got to ask you something.
Okay.
In today's NBA,
Uh-oh.
it's
You're going to get me in trouble.
No, I'm not. Listen, you talk about Kobe on podcasts all the time. I think I can do a whole interview without asking you about Kobe.
Okay.
You keeping me to that challenge?
You're damn right. You're damn right.
All right, so look, in today's NBA,
Okay.
shooting is at a premium.
Okay.
Do you ever look at these contracts today and say, damn?
I was way before my time.
Okay.
That's what I think, honestly. And I'm not even talking about the money. I'm talking about the style of basketball. I was a playmaker. That's what I did. So what New York basketball is all about. One-on-one basketball. One-on-one. 21, you know the game 21. You should be familiar.
Of course.
I know you're from the area.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, just checking.
Yes.
I was before my time. And I feel like this game today caters to the game that I grew up playing. Street ball, playing one against, the world, and creating shots for yourself and for your teammates. But the money is that's a different can of worms right there, man.
Yeah, because you could average 13 to 15 points a game and get
Easy.
a bag.
Easy.
Yeah.
Like it's easy to average 15 points in today's game with the amount of shots that guys are taking.
Riddle me this, though. You
Okay.
look at, I'm not talking about Kobe, but I am talking about D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell playing on today's Lakers team. When you look at his role,
Okay.
that's not easy, particularly because you're playing next to the guy and you're used to being a distributing point guard and a playmaker who
Yes.
also happens to be a scorer.
Yes.
How do you adjust?
And that's the thing. That's taking your game to the next level, knowing what your role is on a certain team and being able to adapt to your environment. I don't know D'Angelo too well, but I do know LeBron James' game, and he's ball dominant. And like you said, D'Angelo Russell's a playmaker who's used to having the ball in his hands, but you got to understand that that's not your role anymore. I'm talking about D'Angelo Russell. You have to become a spot-up shooter when you're playing with a guy like LeBron James, almost like I did when I had to play with Kobe Bryant.
We're not supposed to say his name.
But you did. But you did.
But
so you said it once and I said it once. So
Okay,
I mean,
all right, we here.
They cancel
We-
it out.
we here. We
Okay,
here.
all right. We're not talking about him. I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
All right.
I'm going to hug you after this. Go ahead.
No, but again, you have to be able to adapt to your teammates, and
Sure.
that's what good basketball players do.
Yeah.
Know what your role is on certain teams, and then elevate your game to that level that it needs to be.
Fair. I'm going to tell you a quick story. When I was in college,
Okay.
I went to a small school right outside of Philly called Eastern University. And I remember picking up NBA Live 2005.
Okay.
Because in 04, the Lakers played the Pistons. So this was 05.
Yeah.
You were on that 05 team. 05
Yes,
team when
yes.
everybody left. Shaq
Yes.
was a member of the Heat
Yes.
and more.
Yes.
But I remember sitting in my dorm room pissed because I looked at that roster and I said what you just said. Who's on that roster? In that locker room. What was the vibe after a Lakers team going to the finals playing against the Pistons?
Okay.
No Karl Malone, no Gary Payton, Shaq is gone.
Okay.
What was the vibe like back then?
Well, you got to understand that the time that was in. If you remember, that was the time that situation happened in Colorado.
Okay.
Okay. So, and that was around the time that your guy, who we're not mentioning, was trying to be a leader. Like he was taking on that role. First time as a captain, I believe. So it was a rebuilding year, and it was his first attempt at being a team leader. So I'm going to say Just that whole vibe, in the locker room, in the organization was, okay, we didn't make the playoffs the year before. And I think you got your timeline wrong. They didn't make the playoffs the year before. They made the playoffs the year I got there.
Okay.
Okay, so
Fair.
I need to remind you of that.
Okay.
The year before, they didn't make the playoffs. They made the playoffs. We lost in the first round to the Phoenix Suns, who were the number 1 team in the league that year.
Mm-hmm.
They had the best record. We had a sub, maybe I think we were a 500 team that year, and it was, like I said, for me it was fun. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed playing, for Phil Jackson. I enjoyed playing in that, in Hollywood, and we made the best of it. We made it to the playoffs. We were trying to build for the years to come.
You being from New York,
Yes, sir.
and then playing for the Lakers. People say New York and LA, there's a similar vibe, but very different.
Okay.
How did New York prepare you for Los Angeles?
I don't think anything can prepare you for what LA got.
Sure.
I'm gonna just put it to you like this. I played up until the Lakers. I played in the NBA for about 4 seasons. I played for the Cleveland Cavaliers, played for the Phoenix Suns, I played for the Denver Nuggets, and no, excuse me, I'm tripping. The Detroit Pistons. And when I got to LA, it was nothing like you look courtside and you see Jack Nicholson sitting courtside. You look over there, you see Denzel Washington. And my wife is going to kill me. You look over here, you see Sanaa Lathan. Or, you see Taraji P. Henson. Or, you see all of these actresses. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. These are the people who entertain the world. And they're here tonight being entertained by me. And that was like, mind-blowing to me.
No, that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
The Lakers, to me, are in an interesting situation because I look at the era of Eldon Campbell. I look at Vlade Divac. I look at Nick Van Exel.
Okay.
And that team was put together either in or towards the end of Magic Johnson's reign, right?
Yep.
And then I look at you and your team with a person whose name we're not going to say.
Okay.
And then it was like this dark period after winning championships.
Yep.
And then now we're in a situation where 2020 bubble, whether you want to count it or not, it's a championship. And then post that, why are you smiling? That's a championship, right?
I plead the fifth.
If I had to pick an amendment, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but seriously, we're in a situation to me where it mirrors. Like you have a championship and then it's quiet. How do the Lakers right that ship to get to another era of prominence?
I mean, I'm not a GM. I'm not a president. I'm not an owner. I'm not gonna, say what needs to be done because who knows? Like, I just think they need time to rebuild, like any other team. I think the thing about the big market teams is they want to win championships right away. They want certain players in place, and they want to win now instead of allowing teams to grow organically.
Sure.
And that's what that's what a lot of teams like the San Antonio Spurs. They let those guys, that nucleus, grow organically, and you see what happened with them. So I think that's what needs to happen.
Do you think that being from New York and
Yes, sir.
playing in the NBA is a double-edged sword?
Being from New York and playing in the NBA is a double-edged sword.
Meaning your swagger or the way you walk, some of your teammates may take that as a threat.
Yeah, I think not even just my team. I just think that New York, people who grow up in New York grow up with a certain amount of confidence, and confidence scares people. Excuse me, intimidates people, and it's not just your teammates or in sports. It's all across, like in any field of work that you do. Confidence. People are intimidated by people who are confident.
Who were some of your favorite rock handlers from New York that played in the NBA?
Rock handlers, number one, I'm going to go with Rod Strickland. And then, of course, you can't go wrong with Kyrie Irving. Ball handlers.
Jersey by way of Bronx. We give him that credit.
Yeah. I mean, you got to give him that credit.
Sure.
Yep. Are we just talking about guys who made the league? Or are we just talking about New York City legends in general?
It's your world, we live in it.
Okay.
You tell me.
Well, you definitely got to throw a guy like Kenny Anderson in that category. But in my era, you gotta go with Kemba Walker also. I'm gonna go with a lot of people don't know, but I'm sure you do. You're from the Bronx, right?
So
Where are you from?
So originally from Jersey, but split time in Harlem and lived in the Bronx as well. Listen,
that's 3 strikes.
No, it's not. I had the best of
The
both worlds.
Bronx, Harlem, and Jersey.
I had the best. I had the best of both worlds.
I thought I was doing a interview with somebody who did some time in Brooklyn.
No, well, this is what I'll tell you is this:
Come on.
growing up,
I see it.
my family told me to stay away from boroughs that start with B, except for the Bronx.
Oh, except for the Bronx. You can't even say. Never mind.
No, say what
no. But but being that you spent some time in the Bronx, you gotta know this name, Andre Barrett.
Of course, Andre Barrett's All Hallows own by way of Seton Hall.
So guys like Dre B, growing up had one of the best handles in my era.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did.
So
people don't give Andre Barrett his just due.
No, not at all. Even though they did, because he was a point guard, him, Talik Brown, Omar Cook, they got a lot of pub in high school.
Oh, yeah.
Like coming out of New York City, they were New York City point guards. That's what they were labeled. Point guards. Point guards. Come on.
Do you think I feel like a lot of kids leave New York, they they move to Vegas, they move to LA. I feel like the PSAL post Sebastian Telfair. And also Born Ready, Lance. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's drifted. It doesn't get the same allure. You do have Magic that's doing his thing right now from the Bronx.
Okay.
You have some of these other young guys, but I feel like there was a mystery. There was a level of mystique, but also glam, playing at Rucker Park, playing at the Cage, and playing at Citywide, playing for the Gauchos.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's lost its luster?
Definitely. And it's lost its luster, one, because now basketball is more of a business than a sport. It's reached down, it's gotten all the way down to the AAU, like the biddies, like the 8s, 9-year-olds, all the way down there. It's affected the game all the way down there. So now everything is about, sponsorships, and now we're talking about Nils, and everybody has an AAU team now because they want that clout. If you have a little money, you can make a team. Before, it was just like if you had a program, you had a team, like Gauchos, the Long Island Panthers, Riverside Church. Those were programs. Mm-hmm. So, Aim High. Those were basketball programs. Now, if you have some money, you can put a team together, call yourself AAU. Mm-hmm. Now the talent is just like watered down. The coaching is down. Kids aren't staying in New York City anymore. They're going out to these prep schools. They're going out to Jersey, going out to Connecticut. They're leaving. They're leaving the city. Mm-hmm. So the New York City's definitely lost its luster.
And
the
it
way
sucks.
You put it.
It sucks.
It does.
Because I think, like grassroots basketball for me is watching you guys, watching Stephon, watching Rod Strickland, hearing stories about Pearl Washington, hearing stories about Bernard King.
But you know what? Not to cut you off. You know what added the luster also? We didn't have social media back then. It was just word of mouth. Mm-hmm. So people were like, oh, this is where this guy is playing. I have to get to that court. I have to get to that gym. I have to get to that playground. That's what added I need to go see this guy, because they were hearing word of mouth. Now everything is, on social media. Now you can just, you could be at home in your robe and your footies, looking at, social media like, oh, this guy's all right. Yeah. Oh, he's pretty good. He's all right. Oh, he's pretty good. Now everything is about social media and likes. So it's different now. People aren't rushing to go see Skip, play at 55th, or Smush Parker to play at West 4th Street, or Andre Barrett playing, up in the Bronx, or wherever. You know what I'm saying? It's different.
Smush, you know how I know you old school New York?
What's up?
Because you said footies. that is very 80s, 90s.
Is it?
For those who are tardy to the party, that is below ankle socks.
Yes.
That's almost like hospital bed socks.
Yeah.
Tell me something.
Okay.
The Rucker Park blackout game.
Yeah.
I've heard urban legend that you were supposed to be on the roster of one of those teams.
Supposed to be. I was in the roster
Okay.
of one of those teams.
So the blackout changed everything. Correct?
I think we were supposed to play the day it blacked out and then it got rescheduled. Is that what happened?
I've heard many versions. I've heard that. I've heard somebody didn't put up their money. I've heard certain people didn't show up. I've heard any iteration of different rosters that were supposed to participate in that game. The floor is yours.
So what I remember about that game was I didn't know they call it the blackout game. I just knew that it was a game that didn't happen between Fat Joe's team and Jay-Z's team.
Mm-hmm.
Now I played on Jay-Z's team and I played with him for 2 seasons, two summer seasons, and we showed up to the game.
Okay.
The day that the game was supposed to happen, like, everybody was on the team bus. The bus pulled up to the park. Fat Joe got there first. I mean, if you want to hear my story,
I do.
Fat Joe and his entourage. When I say entourage, he brought 1,000 people with him.
Literally.
No, I'm not. No cap.
No cap.
This is what the young people say now.
Right.
No cap.
Okay.
You know, he brought 1,000 people with him, and not to say that he's not allowed to bring 1,000, but he brought 1,000 people, and they were on the basketball court. They weren't sitting in the stands. They weren't outside the park. They were on the basketball court. So Jay-Z was like, "Listen, you guys got to clear the court for my players. We have to, like, they were sitting on our bench. So we were like, listen, they got to clear the court for us to be able to get up, come sit on our bench and warm up. And that never happened. So we never got off the bus.
So not even Pee Wee Kirkland could imagine this. His team didn't have to play to win the championship, as Fat Joe would say.
Yeah, that's the truth of the matter. Now, what happened behind the scenes where, they say Jay and Fat Joe really had beef, and that's why he brought his people with him. He brought the whole Bronx with him. But we actually came to play basketball.
Right.
And, whoever was supposed to be on that roster was there that day.
Okay, so for those who
Don't ask me who was on that roster.
Why?
Don't ask me.
Why is that so?
Don't ask me. Don't ask me who was on that roster.
Okay, so this is what I will ask.
Okay.
Was LeBron James around? Jamal Crawford was around. Why is that? Why is there such a mystique to that?
Because if it was supposed to happen, it would have happened.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. But playing for Jay-Z's team for 2 years has its perks.
Yeah, of course.
Bragging rights in New York, apparel for days, and I guess another level of mystique. What, if anything, people talk about dinner with Jay-Z or 500,000. Would you say that you've had enough conversation with Jay during that process that you would never have to have dinner, or that you wouldn't have to get the 500,000? Which way would you go with it?
I mean, I'm not saying it for bragging rights, but I've already had dinner with Jay-Z and hung out with him. Like, he's a very personable guy.
Sure.
If you've been around him, he's not one of those guys that is going to be in a room and he's going to be sitting in the corner.
Okay.
Like, he's very personable. He's very approachable. He did engage with the guys on his team.
Okay.
And of course, 40-40 Club, that's his.
Of course.
Before and after every game, that's where we were breaking bread.
Okay.
Upstairs in this little VIP room, we'd be in there, eating, playing pool, joking around, a lot of laughs. That's what we did. So, I mean, for those who didn't meet him, I can see why they would want to meet a guy like that. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't pay $500. But I don't have to.
Sure.
I didn't have to.
Sure.
Just like, I mean, I see on social media, everything is about pictures and videos. That's why you got these women out here, paying all these dollars to take pictures with Chris Brown. What's that about?
That's a money grab for real.
I mean, maybe I should start. No, man, I'm married.
Listen, we gonna move on. Couple more questions. Listen, I'm gonna save you from yourself. Couple more questions.
Hi, baby.
Scoopy Radio with Smush Parker. Let's reset the room.
Okay,
we talked about the Los Angeles Lakers. We talked about the infamous Rucker Park game that you won't give me the roster to. You've talked about D'Angelo Russell. We haven't talked about that other guy. But what I will ask is this. You did play for the San Antonio Spurs.
No, never. Never played for the San Antonio Spurs.
But you played against
yes, of course.
Greg Popovich.
Of course.
Phil Jackson
Yes.
and Greg Popovich, I guess in our lifetime, are considered some of the GOATs. But I feel in recent years, Phil Jackson has been villainized because of comments that he's made, whether it was the LeBron posse comment and some of that other stuff. What about Phil Jackson? Do you think people should know that they don't know?
Well, one, he's getting old. Let's just put that out there. So whatever people say in their older age, you can't let that tarnish their legacy.
Right.
You know, people say a lot of stuff when they're older and when they're hungry, right? Ain't that right? All right. So I will say that Phil Jackson is arguably one of the best coaches to ever coach this game of basketball. But he's definitely the most decorated. We can say that. He has, 3 as a player?
With the Knicks?
9 as a coach? That would be 12.
He's up there.
12 champions. He was. I played for a lot of great coaches. That's just a lot. I played for Larry Brown in Detroit. I played for Mike D'Antoni in Phoenix. Played for John Lucas in Cleveland. I played for Pat Riley in Miami. Played for Mike Dunleavy as the Clipper. So I've been around. I know good coaches. I love playing for Phil Jackson, and I think there are a lot of players who play for him that will attest to this. He's a great coach to play for because he allows you to play basketball. He doesn't overcoach. He understands that we're professionals. If we've reached that level, we don't need to be overcoached. You know what I'm saying? Like, you overcoach high school kids because there's a certain level of talent and discipline that they don't have. You overcoach even in college. Now, that's where you're teaching the game. At the NBA level, you're not really teaching these guys how to play basketball. They should already know how to play basketball. You should unlock certain things in their mind that brings out the best in these guys who are professionals. And I think that Phil Jackson was a master at that.
So last question.
Yes, sir.
You talked about John Lucas.
Yes.
And I have heard infamous stories about, where I'm going with this.
No, I don't actually.
LeBron's senior year of high school.
Okay.
At St. Vincent St. Mary's High School. Where he was playing against the Cavs.
Okay.
In their closed practice.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, Darius Miles was there. Carlos Boozer was there.
Okay.
And I'm told that you were in that practice when LeBron, a high school student, was playing against you guys. Do you recall?
I do not recall that.
You don't?
I don't recall playing against LeBron James before he got to the NBA. And that's
No
me
cap.
being honest.
No cap.
That's me being honest.
Okay.
I don't recall it.
But you were in the Cleveland area when LeBron was being heralded in high school.
Of course. He was sitting courtside taking notes while I was playing my rookie season in the NBA.
Really? So with that being said, I'm listening to you, but I know you, so that's why I'm letting it flow. What did you notice about him even then?
What, even as a high school player?
Yeah. Did you subscribe
freak
to?
of nature.
Okay.
I was there. I was there for that. I don't know if it was the All-American Slam Dunk contest, whatever they had that year in Cleveland, where he was involved in the slam dunk contest. It was my first time seeing him up close and personal, like in his playing, and I'm like, yo, this guy is different for a high school kid. I've never seen anybody that agile, pause that big. I'm from New York.
Yes.
Yeah, I still say,
Yes.
all right.
Yes.
Freak of nature, head above the rim on all his dunks.
Right.
And he was just physically gifted. And I have not seen anybody. You know what? I'm lying. I did see somebody like that, just like that, in high school. And his name was Michael Beasley. Michael Beasley was just like LeBron James in high school. I do want to shout out Mike Beasley, but we're talking about LeBron James right now. When I first saw LeBron James, I was just like, he's different. There's no way that he's not going to be a great or turn out to be a great basketball player?
Last question, as I said.
Oh,
no.
Are we 3 last questions in?
I gave you the last question, but I wanted to give you the opportunity
Okay.
to plug anything that you have going on because you've been so gracious with your time.
Okay.
What are you working on? What do you want the people to know that you're doing?
Well, I'm still heavily involved in the game of basketball. I'm retired from playing basketball, but is that Craig Hodges? Wow. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm just that's a true legend right there.
Yes, it is.
That is a true legend right
Yes,
there.
it is.
All right, that's my guy, Craig Hodges.
You're a referee.
Yes. Back to what I was saying. I'm heavily involved in the game of basketball. I'm actually pursuing getting back to the NBA as a basketball referee, and I do Division III level basketball. That's my and semi-pro. Those are my 2 highest levels of basketball that I'm doing. But I do all ages, AAU. I do Catholic League high school basketball in New York City right now. So I'm working my way.
Coming to an NBA arena near you, he gonna be talking shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Brother.
And I'm gonna be the first one to call a travel ever in the NBA.
What, brother? Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Yes, sir.